Shalom, Kohala, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim, Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. The name of this video will be the Trucker-Car-Elson Psy-Op. All right. And this Psy-Op goes way back. All right. Trucker-Car-Elson. Okay. It's a Psy-Op and it goes way back. And we're just gonna take a look at it, and then you can form your own opinion if you like. All right. Let's see. Who seeth us? Obadiah 1 and 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Let me get this. Who seeth us? Who teeth us? Who seeth us? Okay. Woe. This is Isaiah 29:15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? That would be the men of the Lord. The Most High, he knows. He makes it known unto his servants what is going on, who this devil is, right? What sorrow, this is NLT, what sorrow awaits those who try to hide their plans, what? Their plans from the Most High, Yahweh Shem Shai, who do their evil deeds in the dark. The Lord can't see us, they say. He doesn't know what's going on. Ha! Well, let's see what's going on. All right, now, here's the thing about your boy, Trucker-Car-Elson. Okay? Your boy Trucker, right, stumbled upon the camp. Okay? He stumbled upon the camp. Or did he? Was he sent there? At the time that Trucker-Car-Elson visited the camp, right? And we're going to watch it. We have to. I think we're going to watch it in its entirety. They edited it. Whoever did this, they edited it. I don't think it was Yasharala, because he only put this up 4 days ago. I was looking for it, me and the brother Isaac Mawat. We were looking for it, and then this popped up, and I said, oh, this is 4 days ago, which is crazy because Trucker didn't get fired until yesterday. So that's the spirit dealing with this whole situation. This is a psyop, because what happens is Trucker walks up onto the camp, and I'm not even sure how long ago this had to be like 2014. What happened was Trucker he was released from his first job. He came on, he used to wear the bow tie, which you're going to see him in the bow tie, right? Let's see. You're going to see Trucker, right? And he got released, there he is, from his first job. Let me take a snapshot of this right here. This is going to be the, bear with me. This is going to be the thumbnail. So Trucker was, he had a job when he came out as this guy, you know. And we all know with the bow tie and all of that, he was set up. Okay. Remember the bow tie, because this means something. And then he stopped doing this. So he was on the air, and then somehow they let him go. And it was during that time that he walked up on the elder. I think they had another mission or another phase of his operation kicked in. Because suddenly he walks up on the elder. And what happens? It's all on film. And it's probably longer than this because they edited it. But we're going to watch this. and it shows exactly what he learned, right? And they broke it to the elder. When you watch this, right, and the elder apostles, they look young, right? So this is how long ago it was, and they're on 34th, and the whole camp with what they call the bishops are there, and it's just crazy when you watch this. You see a bunch of fallouts that are gone now, but it's crazy. But watch what and how expertly, right? This makes you appreciate the elder apostles, because the elder apostle Tahar is on fire, okay, in the most subtle of ways. This footage is it's all inspired, but this is just over the top because they got him when he walks away from this, right? They actually shake hands, and it was all in the spirit, because we can go back and find out what this guy knows, what he was taught by the elders themselves, the elders of GMS, starting from the top, okay? This guy knows what's going on. And then he gets a job. After all of this, then they reinstate him. He gets a job, and then he turns into the biggest and most well-known whatever, news reporter, whatever this guy is, right? And just yesterday, he gets fired. But then we're going to see who he talks about and what he talks about, knowing that he knows the holes. He knows he's an Edomite. He knows he's going into slavery. He went back. See, these people, it's not just him. There's a team. Tucker has a team. Trucker has a team, maybe, I don't know, 10 people that do research. All right? It's not just him. He's got research. He's got a network. He's got a company, $1 billion company behind him. And they put him out there to do what? All right? We know what this devil is up to. What? What are they doing? They have taken crafty counsel against us. Okay? Woe to those who dig deep to hide their plans, their counsel, their crafty counsel. Who did they take crafty counsel against? The men of the Lord. All right? So let's watch this. We got to watch it. Pay close attention to what he learned and how he accepts it. So anything after this, he knows who we are. He knows everything, because he went back after this and he did the research. You think he didn't? Okay, we're going to play it from the top. You ready? Here we go. This is Shawar Yasharallah. Thank you, brother. I'm going to use your video. Okay, that he reposted this 4 days ago. Only got 14 views. Because I looked for this, couldn't find it, and then I did a diligent search, and this popped up. Fox News Trucker-Car-Elson visits the Great Millstone. All right? And this is evidence and proof to show exactly what's going on. Okay, I'm going to try to shut up. Here we go.
Of taking that chip, the Most High is going to make it a way for the elect not to take it. He's going to protect the elect, because it's all about the elect. We've been telling you, brothers, since we came on YouTube, it's all about the elect. I know you from somewhere, right? You know, a news answer. Yeah, what is it? You know about us. Are you Jewish? Are you Jewish? What are you? Italian? Oh, really? What is it?
Now watch. I'm sorry, I had to do that. He walks up, the elder apostle says, I know you. He couldn't think of his name. And then the elder apostle says, you know about us. And then Tucker goes, first he goes, I know you. You're with the news. And Tucker nods his head and says, no. So maybe he was telling the truth because he had gotten fired right at that moment. He wasn't no longer with the news. Maybe he was being subtle. But he was fingered. He came up to the camp and he had a long conversation. He had to be there an hour because he's there learning. He's there on a mission. This dude, he didn't just show up, okay? And then he says, you know about us. And then he goes, I think I do. Watch closely. You got to watch the devil, okay? Got to watch out for the devil, all right? Because he's slick. He's more subtle than any beast of the field.
What is it? You know about us. Are you Jewish? Are you Jewish? What are you? Italian? Christian. Oh, really? What does the word Christian mean? Okay, good. You said someone who follows Christ. You're talking about the Christ in the Bible?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, what color is that Christ?
No idea.
No idea. So you don't read the Bible?
Yeah, I read the whole thing, actually.
You read the whole Bible?
Yes, I did.
So then you would know the color of Christ.
I don't remember that being mentioned. I mean, what's he?
Give me that. Since he missed it, we're going to refresh his memory. Since he read the whole Bible.
Revelation chapter 1.
The elder apostle Tahar is razor sharp. Watch this. Razor sharp.
1 verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with the garment down to the foot.
That's John the Revelator seeing a vision of the Lord coming down from heaven.
Clothed with the garment down to the foot, and girt about the neck with the golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like a fine brass, as if they burned in the furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters.
Now go back to his hair.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
What is it?
I gotta get this picture. Salakia. Bear with me. I don't know what I'm gonna use as the thumbnail. Look at this. Got the elder apostle Rakar in there. Salakia.
By his head and his hairs were white like wool. What do you think?
Elder Taz.
Okay, that's that. Well, he had gray hair.
Right, yeah.
You have young people. There's this girl I know she grew up with. At the age of like 23, she got a full head of gray hair,
Yeah, I've
white
seen
hair.
that. It's weird.
And that's from
Started ministry is 30,
hydrogen peroxide
30 years
coming
old.
through your system, like you. That's from peroxide. Okay? That's within your system. So instead he had white hair, but what else did it say?
Like wool.
Like wool. So it's talking about the texture of his hair. Who has woolly hair? You don't know who has woolly hair? Come on. Does this hair look? Wait on. This is a perfect example. Does this hair look woolly to you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So what would you say when you read that all over again? Read it again.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Meaning his head and his hairs on his face because they wore a beard because that was pursuant to the law, and the hair on the top of his head was also white and woolly. What people do you know on the planet Earth have woolly hair?
Africans.
Okay, good. So you're saying that the people, the blacks in this country, the so-called Negroes, are you saying that they're Africans?
Descent. No, they're Americans.
But are you saying that the so-called the Negroes, the African Americans,
Right.
all right, are you saying that they descend from Africa?
Yes.
Okay, now listen.
Egypt again.
This is.
See how it faded? There was a fade there. Somebody cut that right here on Power Director. So they did a fade. So it goes on longer. I think they're getting to the meat in the video. So continue.
Moses speaking to the children of Israel in the wilderness. And basically, when you read the whole chapter, the first 15 verses goes into the blessing that Israel will receive. All right? From the 16th verse to the end, it talks about the curses that they will receive. So we read about the curses, and this is one of the main curses that was going to fall into Israel. Go ahead.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies, for bondmen and bondwomen. No man shall buy you.
Now, the children of Israel were born as a nation in Egypt. There's no record of the Israelites or the children of Israel, us, going back into Egypt, going into slavery again. So it's got to be talking about another Egypt. Give me Revelation 11. Revelation 11 and 8.
Revelation 11 and 8. And that their bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. Because this is referring to America when you go precept upon precept. Because America is mentioned in the Bible several times. It's known as Babylon the Great, or the daughter of Babylon. It's also known as Assyria, spiritual Assyria, spiritual Babylon. It's also known as Egypt and Sodom. When you look up the word Sodom, what comes to your mind? When you think of the word Sodom,
Chelsea.
you should have said Christmas Street. I give you that. You should have said Christmas Street. Okay, but anyway, you think of so-called homosexuals, lesbians, transvestites. So we gotta get that.
And that their bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
America's not called Sodom or Egypt. Instead, it's spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. The word Sodom, like I said, the first thing that came to his mind was Chelsea.
Yeah.
All right? On the dollar bill, the official language of the United States is what, English, right?
It's not the official, but it's practical.
Okay. Everything's written in English in America,
Yeah, it is.
okay?
Yep.
When you want to register a car, they give you an application in English.
Yes.
Not as far as in Russian. All right. This is the so-called American dollar bill. It's nothing but a Federal Reserve note. If you look, I don't know how big your eyes are. What do you say?
Something Latin, but I can't pronounce.
I knew it. Whoever this is, come on. Right here on the bottom.
Get that, Hey, Jaquan. Tell him to get the martial law sign up. It has that on
What
it.
does Northern
Oh, look at the picture. You see the
It
picture
means
of
blue.
Elvis?
It means blue, right?
Like a patch of
Order means order. In the Latin.
Yeah.
But order means sector. That's
Elvis is another one. Hey, Sean. Oh, the chip. The chip one. The chip sign.
In the Eagles,
The chip.
Yes.
The chip sign has it. Yeah, the chip, yeah, that has it. Right there.
good. What does he talk out of many one? And this guy, the so-called great president, the father of our country. I'm talking about Obama. I'm not talking about him. We're talking about Obama. He's our new father, right?
Right?
He's a black man. When he passed, I guess they call it overtime. Don't ask, don't tell. He said, when he got that speech, he said, well, we are not a nation, so we don't ask, don't tell.
So look quickly, I just wanted to point out that this is before 2016 when Trump became president, because he just said that Obama is our father. So it had to be before I believe it's like 2015, maybe 2014. So.
He said, we are a nation out of many one. And what he said in the English was the poor of his food.
Yes.
Why would he say that?
Because it's like the national motto.
But it's in Latin.
Yeah, good point.
It's in Latin. Why is everything written in Latin? If the official language of the United States of America is English. Because this is the Roman Empire all over again. This is the Roman Empire coming back. I'll use the word that's reincarnated.
Is that good or bad?
Well, it's good for us, it's bad for you.
For me?
It's bad for you.
Why?
Because you're going into slavery.
You need a mic.
Now I'm cutting to the chase.
Why am I going?
Because you're an Edomite.
Boom. Okay. So Tucker knows. Right here, he's getting a pure lesson from the #1 teacher on the face of the earth. Boom. You see this? There's Trucker. There's the elder apostle Tahar. So there's no question he's learning. We get to see what he's learning right now.
What's your nationality? That's not a nationality. What's your national origin?
No idea. I was
Okay, what was your father? Was he Irish? Okay, so I guess he may be Irish, right?
He's not Irish. He's not Irish.
Is he Jewish?
Swedish.
Well, you better hope that you're an Israelite. But anyway, give me Isaiah 14.
Yeah, but why am I going into this?
If you're a so-called white man, if your line goes back to the Edomites, do you know anything about Edom or Esau?
Yeah.
So what do you know about Edom or Esau?
Well, Esau.
He knows about Edom. I'm pretty sure he knows about that.
Brother Esau? Jacob's brother?
Jacob's brother.
Yeah.
Okay, who are the descendants? Who are the descendants of Jacob?
I think the Jews and then the Arabs are the descendants of Esau.
Are you talking about the white Jews?
There you go.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay, we're the descendants of Jacob.
Okay.
Jacob was a black man. Abraham was black. All right? Isaac, his son, was black.
Right.
Rebecca was black. So if they were all black, what color did Jacob come out? He would come out as a black man.
Right.
Now, his brother Esau didn't come out as a black man. He came out as, I'll use this term, an albino. You see a black person that looks like a white person,
right.
They call him an albino. But guess what? White people are albinos too. You're an albino, okay?
You're depressing me.
That's well I'm supposed to. Well, you gotta get ready, man. If you're an Edomite,
When is
if
this
you're
going to
an
happen?
Edomite, very soon. It's happening now as we talk. Go ahead.
Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land.
Because the first thing that you mentioned when I asked you your religion, you said Christian.
Right.
And I said, what does the word Christian mean? You said follower of Christ. You're here to the book of Acts 11 and 26.
Wait, can I say
I'm going to show you a true Christian.
Acts chapter 11 verse 26. And when he had found them, he brought them into Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people.
These are the apostles.
Right.
Go ahead.
And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch.
So the only Christians were the true followers of Christ. Go from there to St. John 4 and 19.
John chapter 4 verse 19. The woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Our fathers worship in this mountain.
This is a woman of Samaria. Go ahead.
Our fathers,
Which thought she was a Jew, but the Lord, a transplanted Jew. Go ahead.
our fathers worship in this mountain. And ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Jesus said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews.
So, in him making that statement, for salvation is of the Jews, he excluded her. Why? Because she was not a real Jew. Go ahead.
But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth.
Go ahead.
For the Father seeketh such to worship him.
True worship.
God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship in the spirit and in truth.
Go ahead.
The woman said unto him, I know that Messiah cometh, which is called Christ. When he is come, he will tell us all things. Jesus said unto her, I that speak unto thee am he.
And he said he admitted that he was the Messiah. Go ahead.
And upon this came his disciples, and marveled that he talked with the woman. Yet no man said, What seekest thou? Or why talkest thou with them? The woman then left her water pot and went away into the city and said to the men, Come, see a man which told me all things that ever I did. Is not this the Christ? Then they went out of the city and came unto him. In the meanwhile his disciples prayed him, saying, Master, eat. But he said to them, I have meat to eat. And you know
Let's go
not
back to the 19th verse.
All right.
Go back to the point, because salvation is of the Jews.
Right. John chapter 4, verse 22. Ye worship, ye know not what.
Ye worship, ye know not what. This is what the Christ said, the black Christ said to this, she would probably be Ethiopian woman, okay? Because you have a group of Phoenician Jews over there. Do you know what the word Phoenician means? It means false. I believe it's Latin, okay? Now what happened was, going back maybe 20 years ago, we, the real Jews, started waking up. So I believe to counteract that, the so-called Jews in Israel said, let's allow these Ethiopians to come to Israel.
That was very important what he said. He said about 20 years ago, the real Jews started. See, he's teaching Trucker right there. He's teaching him what the hell is going on. You think that this guy didn't go back and check the record? Of course he did. Then he was instructed on what his new mission was. I'm going to finish this.
I believe it's Latin, okay? Now what happened was, going back maybe 20 years ago, we, the real Jews, started waking up. So I believe to counteract that, the so-called Jews in Israel said, let's allow these Ethiopians to come to Israel and say, here are the black Jews. But they're not the black Jews.
Let me ask you two questions.
Go ahead.
One, what's your group?
We're Israelites. Israelites. Yep.
Second, what denomination did you grow up in?
Not just one denomination. Because my parents went from one church to this to that. So they jumped all over the place.
But Protestant denominations? Christian denominations?
Protestant, Baptist, Methodist, Jehovah Witness. You was raised as a Jehovah Witness. Jehovah Witness, that's what we call it. But we found out through studying the scriptures that we are the Israelites. We are the lost. Give me Matthew's 10, 5, and 6.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 5. These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not, but go rather.
Hold on, read it again. Read it slow.
These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles.
That's called a Great Commission, right?
Yes.
He sent out the 12. And this is what he told the 12 to do. Go ahead.
Go not into the way of the Gentiles.
Hold up, wait a minute. I thought we were supposed to save Gentiles. This is what the Lord said. This is what the Christ said. Go ahead.
And into any of any city of the Samaritans, enter you not.
Now he just encountered, we read about in St. John, the 4th chapter, he had that conversation with that Ethiopian woman, which was a Samaritan. That's why he said, don't go among the Samaritans, because they were Gentiles claiming to be Jews. So don't go to them either. Go ahead.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Go ahead.
And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
So all the other nations are excluded.
That's right.
Including yourself if you're an Edomite. Jump down to the 18th verse.
Verse 18. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles.
For testimony against them and the Gentiles.
So if you're an Edomite, there's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can go to slavery. That's the only thing you can do.
That's only right, man.
We were enslaved under you.
We didn't have a choice.
Well, provided that you're an Edomite. If you're an Edomite, then you're going into slavery. If for some
So
reason,
it's not even worth worrying about. You're going.
if you're an Edomite, you're going into slavery. That's it.
That's it.
Period.
Kind of bummed.
So the only thing you can do is hope that you're an Israelite.
Here's hoping. Well, thanks for
Okay.
that. I appreciate
All right.
it.
Nice meeting you, bro. All right.
Thanks, man.
Take care.
What's an Edomite?
An Edomite is a so-called white man. But that doesn't mean that all... This guy right here, I forget his name. But this guy, he'll be talking about his...
Boom. Now, I did all of that.
This is Democracy Now!, Democracy
I
Now!
did all of that to show that Trucker-Car-Elson knows what the hell is going on, because that goes back before 2016. Understand that, okay? How long has it been since, let's say that's 2014. That's 6 years to get to 2020, plus another, 3 years? That's almost 10 years, okay? Let's say it's 8 years, okay? 8 years ago, Trucker was introduced to the truth. Now what? Now what do we do? Okay? Now we go, let's see. Let's go to Covington, all right? Let's go to Covington. Remember Covington? Nick Sandman, right? This guy, MAGA hat. Now, how many years ago did this come out? What, 4 years ago. Salakia.
Our world is
Bear
constant.
with me. Bear with me now. I'm going to set this up. I wish I had some editing skills because I would edit this. Let's see. All right. So now listen to Tucker. This might go a little long, but hey, bear with me.
The Wells Fargo Active.
The devil is fighting with all he's got. Bear with me. Damn devil. All right. So now we know that Trucker, he knows what the hell is going on. Trucker has the information. He knows who the Idumeans are. He knows.
Good evening and welcome to Trucker-Car-Elson Tonight.
Okay, now let me go back real quick. This was 4 years ago. Now he's with Fox. All right. During the last video, he was unemployed. He was in between jobs. Now, all right, we're gonna watch this guy set this up. The whole time he's gonna be talking about Gad before he even mentions the men of the Lord. Okay, here we go.
On social media over the weekend, you probably saw this video. It was shot Friday afternoon on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. It seemed to show a group of teenage boys taunting an elderly American Indian man who was holding a drum. The young men had come to Washington from a Catholic school in Kentucky to demonstrate in the March for Life. Some of them wore Make America Great Again hats. They seemed menacing. Within hours, the video is being replayed by virtually every news outlet in America. Here's what you may have seen. Well, the American Indian man with the drum you just saw is called Nathan Phillips, and he described the young men he encountered, the ones in the hats, as aggressive and threatening, essentially shock troops for Donald Trump. Watch.
Heard them saying, build that wall, you know. This is indigenous lands. We're not supposed to have walls here. We never did.
Well, it's hard to remember the last time the great American meme machine produced a clearer contrast between good and evil. It was essentially an entire morality play shrunk down to 4 minutes for Facebook. On the one side, you had a noble tribal elder, weather-beaten, calm, and wise. He looked like a living icon. You could imagine a single tear sliding slowly down his cheek at the senselessness of it all. And on the other side, you had a pack of heedless, sneering young men from the South, drunk on racism and white privilege. The irony was overwhelming. The indigenous man's land had been stolen by the ancestors of these boys in MAGA hats, and yet they dared to lecture him about walls designed to keep people who look very much like him out of what they were calling their country. It was infuriating to a lot of people. At the same time, it was also strangely comforting to those who watched it from Brooklyn and LA. The people who run this country have long suspected that Middle America is a hive of nativist bigotry, and now they had proof of that. It was a cause for a celebration of outrage, because there's nothing quite as satisfying as having your own biases confirmed. But did the video really describe what happened? That should have been the first question that journalists asked. Checking facts and adding context is what journalists are paid to do. It's in the first line of the job description. And yet, amazingly, almost nobody in the American media did that. And that's a shame because there was a lot to check. The full video of what happened on Friday in Washington is well over an hour long. The 4 minutes that made Twitter don't tell the story, but instead distort the story.
Is that a little Kabbalah right there on this guy? Is that little red string on it?
A longer look shows that the boys from Covington Catholic in Kentucky were not a roving mob looking for a fight. They were, in fact, and it shows it on the tape, standing in place waiting to be picked up by a
Now listen close.
bus. As they waited there, members of a group called the Black Hebrew Israelites, that's a black supremacist organization, began taunting them with racial epithets. And then Nathan Phillips, the now famous American Indian activist, approached them, pounding on his drum. Now, the footage seems to suggest that the boys were unsure of whether Phillips was hostile or taking their side against the Black Hebrew Israelites. But in any case, there is no evidence at all that anybody said, build a wall. Here's a selection of what didn't make social media.
This child molesting and the priest right there.
Right.
Let's make America great again. A bunch of child molesting.
Look at all these dusty crackers with that racist garbage on. Look at these dirty crackers.
Bunch of extra school shooters.
That's right.
A bunch of incest babies. A bunch of babies made out of insects. The biggest terrorist on the face of this earth is the pale-faced man, woman, and child.
So what really happened on Friday? Well, you can watch for yourself and decide. There's plenty of video out there of it, and some of it is fascinating and revealing. But what we know for certain at this point is that our cultural leaders are, in effect, bigots, and they understand the reality on the basis of stereotypes. When the facts don't conform to what they think they know, they ignore the facts. They see this country not as a group of people or of citizens, but as a collection of groups. And some of those groups, they are convinced, are morally inferior to other groups. They know that's true. They say it out loud. And that belief shapes almost all of their perceptions of the world. It's not surprising, then, that when a group of pro-life Catholic kids who look like lacrosse players and live in Kentucky are accused of wrongdoing, the media don't pause for a moment before casting judgment. Maggie Haberman of the New York Times suggested the boys needed to be expelled from school. Anna Navarro of CNN called the boys racists and asswipes, and then went after their teachers and their parents. Others called for violence against them. CNN legal analyst Bakari Sellers suggested one of the boys should be, quote, punched in the face. Former CNN contributor Reza Aslan agreed. Aslan asked on Twitter this: have you ever seen a more punchable face than this kid's?
All right, we're going to stop it right there. The point is that Trucker knows. He knows what's going on here. This is how many years later? Okay, at least 5 years after he met with and was taught by the elder apostles. Okay, so now there's that, right? I'm sure I'm going long, and I'm sure that they're going to strike this and give me a week suspension, right? I need to put a sign up. Before I post this, I should put a sign up and say, they're going to give me a strike. Okay, so now where are we going with this? Okay, we went to the magazine. Okay, so now we go where? All right, what happened here with this guy? This was a year ago, right? Yay. All right, let me see. So Ye, right, goes on, and who is he talking to? You see this psyop? How is this guy speaking to this guy who knows, right? Is this part of the psyop? Okay, so we're not going to go into, this is actually Fox News. That's their actual channel. We're not going to go into that. We're going to go into this guy, this clown, and what he's doing is he's showing what Fox didn't show. All right, the takeouts. Edited out Ye's worst moments, right? So let's see what he's saying, and let's see what they didn't want you to hear, because this guy already knows exactly what's going on. All right? Just more build up. Salakia.
Oh.
Okay. So where is this at? All right. Started from the top. All right, so this is Secular Talk. 6 months ago, leaked Trucker edited out worst Ye moments. Okay? Whoever this dude is, it's his show. Okay, here we go. Listen to this. Is it going? Let's see. How does this work?
Watch the disturbing Kanye interview clips that Tucker Carlson didn't put on air. So apparently, Kanye did like a 2-hour rambling interview with Tucker, and everybody assumed, well, they probably didn't edit anything, because it's not like the stuff that was shown was flattering to Kanye. I mean, the far-right bubble liked the stuff he said for the plain reason that he likes Trump, so now they like him. But it didn't look flattering to Kanye, so nobody suspected, are they sitting on stuff that's more damning? But it turns out they indeed were sitting on stuff that's more damning. So Fox News made the editorial decision to take out the worst parts because they want to protect Kanye's image because now Kanye is a Trump guy. Wow. So they say here the subheadline is Motherboard obtained footage of Ye making bigoted statements about Jewish people and bizarre claims about, quote, fake children, as well as describing visions of kinetic energy cities sent him by God. See, that sentence doesn't even make sense. He described visions of kinetic energy cities sent him by God. What does that even mean, bro? All right, so we actually have the video. I will play the video for you. First, let me read a little bit of this. Fox News recently aired a two-part interview between Tucker Carlson and Ye, the artist formerly known as Kanye West. Motherboard has obtained portions of the interview that were edited out of the final broadcast. These include numerous anti-Semitic sentiments from Ye, a strange and lengthy digression about fake children he claimed were planted in his house to manipulate his own children, and a statement that he's vaccinated against COVID-19. It's so interesting to see the specific things they left on the cutting room floor. So the super anti-Semitic stuff gone, even though literally like a day later he went on an anti-Semitic rant on Twitter. And then also, they edited out that he was vaccinated. Oh man, talk about trying to pander to the audience as much as possible. Carlson used the interview, which was presented as a piece of landmark television, to hit on a few Fox News favorite boogeymen with Ye's enthusiastic participation, the Clintons, former President Obama, COVID restrictions, and of course the Kardashians. But what the Tucker Carlson team chose to leave out is just as revealing. Okay, so let's watch these.
You know, every day we've been killing each other in the streets every day. One of the amazing things with Mayor...
Okay, so what you're going to see here is Kanye jumps from thought to thought in a seamless way. Like, he doesn't think in full sentences. He doesn't complete a thought. He just keeps cutting himself off. So this first part here, this first 8 seconds, this is stuff the Fox News audience would have eaten up, man. Are you kidding me? Basically, this is like the black-on-black violence thing. And Fox News viewers love to hear that black people kill black people, so black people are the problem. And so... I don't know who made this editorial decision, but this was red meat for the base that they could have kept this part in. This would have made him even more beloved by the audience.
As far as this, the murder rate has gone down. And I mean, you set that question up. You have more information about about what happened in the hospitals. So, in all honesty, I don't have the most facts, as many facts.
No, I mean in your life, like
so I might have
the
deflected.
COVID vaccine, the being stuck inside. Like, what did you think of all that?
I was vaccinated. It was interesting. A friend of mine told me that.
So he says I was vaccinated casually, but it's interesting because he didn't. It looks like he didn't also go off on a side tangent about how the vaccine has microchips in it, and like they're giving it to everybody to make them gay or something, and. That's kind of surprising because obviously Kanye has gone down this Black Hebrew Israelite track and he's like all into conspiracy theories, but somehow he missed the vaccine conspiracy.
What did he say? Black what? So why? See, it's apparent that everybody knows about the so-called Black Hebrew Israelites, right? So everybody knows, but they're just kind of tucking it to the side right here. There's more in this interview because a lot was said about what they edited out.
And so this is almost kind of like a pure moment in a sense. Because it's like, oh, okay, you're untainted by the vaccine conspiracy theories. Interesting. Okay. Then we go to Kanye on Planned Parenthood.
We'll listen to this.
How you holding up?
Yeah, we'll listen to the Planned Parenthood because he's on. This guy's going to admit that he's on it.
Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics with the KKK.
Okay, hold on. A known eugenics. What he's trying to say is a known eugenicist. And that's actually accurate. This is actually a fact about the founder of Planned Parenthood. Now, that of course doesn't mean that all forms of birth control should be illegal and you should ban abortion starting, from day one. That's not what that means, but certainly the history of Planned Parenthood and its inception is not, pure and, It wasn't made for the right reasons and stuff. So just understand that what he said there is factually accurate. Anyway.
And what he's going to say is factually accurate too, but you're going to pass that up. He's going to come out and say, and Tucker, mind you, okay, let me remind you, as this guy, right, 5 years, 6 years later, is saying these things, Tucker already knows. He was taught by the elder apostle. He understood. So here you got Ye saying exactly what he was taught. So what kind of psyop is this? Okay, does this guy, are they working together? What are they pushing on the American people? What are they pushing out here? What kind of witchcraft is this? All right, I'm gonna let a little more of this play.
To control the Jew population. When I say Jew, I mean the 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ.
It's the 12 lost tribes of Israel, not Judah. Okay. There's 3 tribes of the Jews, or the southern kingdom. All right, so get it right, Ye. I don't know what you slipping in. I don't know what you were taught, but you got to get it right.
Just understand that what he said there is factually accurate. Anyway, continue.
To control the Jew population. When I say Jew, I mean the 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ, who the people known as the race black really are. This is who our people are, the blood of Christ. This, as a Christian, is my belief. And I believe that if we saw ourselves as more...
Okay, I would love to know what's going on in Tucker's head as he's...
I would love to know what's going on in Tucker's head, because Tucker knows. He's heard this before, and it matches up directly to what the elder apostles were teaching him. So what is this? Does he are they in on this together? Or you see what's going on here? You see how the Most High works? The Spirit is bringing all this out.
to this. I mean, he probably thinks like, oh, this is going to be phenomenal TV. But also at the same time, he has to be thinking, this guy is out of his fucking mind.
He doesn't think that because he's already been taught. He's an Idumean. He knows that this guy's saying exactly what he learned on the street. So what is he thinking?
What was that middle part? What is he even saying?
Control the Jew population. When I say Jew, I mean the 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ, who the people known as the race black really are. This is who our people are.
Okay.
And that's why they cut it out.
You even respond to that? What, like, first of all, that none of that made any sense. Second of all, even if it did, who the fuck cares?
And none of the wicked will understand. Okay? Paraphrasing. So, Salakia for not going and grabbing a handful of precepts. I'm just trying to get through this because it could be a little lengthy. So I'm going to cut that right there. This is Secular Talk, leaked. Trucker edited out worst Ye moments, okay? 6 months ago. Go watch that. All right, now this brings us up to today. So you can see that this guy is involved in the whole situation, starting with getting taught by the elders on the street, as if he just casually walked up, and that happened. If it did, then so be it. But, well, the jury is out right now. Okay, now, where are we going now? So yesterday, this guy gets fired, yeah? All right, so this happened. We're going to go to Gonzalo Lira now, who I used to like until he said this. Let's see. Okay, what is he going to come out and say? If Trucker, right, was, all right, here's Gonzalo. If Trucker was fired, if you will, on yesterday, okay? Trucker was fired yesterday. Where's my phone at? Salakia, bear with me. Oh, there. trying to find the date. Okay, so today is the 25th, and this says 2 days ago, so that would be the 23rd. Trucker was fired yesterday. When this guy made this video, he didn't know that Trucker would be or was fired. So listen to what he says. He's going to start at the top. This is 2 days ago, Gonzalo Lira again. He gives you the date, the 23rd of April. April 23rd, American censorship increasing. Now listen to what he says. He comes straight out. What does he know? Okay? Because he's saying some very revealing thing. He keeps talking about what Trucker knows and what he says about us, letting you know that he knows, and he keeps saying he's going to bring up something very, very, very important. He's going to say that the federal government is coming against us, okay? The prophets. How does he know that? What does he know, or what does he not know? This is the same guy who was grabbed up over in the Ukraine by the goon squad and went missing for a little while for what he knows, okay? Is he being used? Because I used to like what he said. He's very on point, right? Could be a Jake. He's very on point with what he says, but right now, I don't know what side. I don't know what side he's on, because he's speaking like he's an agent right now. So let's listen to what he says. Very important.
Hey, how's it going? So, on Tucker Carlson in the United States, for my American viewers, and those of you outside the United States, you've probably seen clips of this. Tucker Carlson, who is a broadcaster on Fox News, and he's actually the only broadcaster on any of the legacy media who is trying to tell the truth about the things that are going on around the world. Well, he was deeply troubled by the fact that there's this group of African Israelites, I think they are. It's this crazy-ass group of guys who are African American who believe all kinds of nonsense. I mean, they're just like really out to lunch. And a lot of the things that they believe in are kind of outrageous and or despicable, But the Biden administration is persecuting them because of free speech, because of shit that they have said. And like little posters that they put up here and there that mean nothing. I mean, they're just a little radical, crazy-ass outfit that has zero political impact, although they are fairly noticeable. But, they're more like an amusement, really, than anything else. I mean, you can't take them seriously.
You hear this shit? Now, aside from what he just said, what is this guy? Well, let's connect the dots. You got Trucker. You got the men of the Lord, the prophets, okay? This guy, okay, he connected who? The federal government? Doing what? Persecuting us. Okay? What the hell is going on? Is this a psy-op? What's going on? Connect the dots. Okay? I know I went the long way, but bear with me.
But the Biden administration is persecuting these people because of their speech. They haven't done anything. They haven't burned down a building like Black Lives Matter did back in 2020. Oh no.
And Black Lives Matter ain't black. Well, no black people. He's going to explain that. What?
Back in 2020. Oh no. These guys, they just give their little speeches and their little bullshit and their little pamphlets, and that's it. And the Biden administration is persecuting them using the federal government to shut them down. Now, Tucker Carlson has been talking about this quite a bit, and with good reason, because this is the epitome of freedom of speech.
Now, where's Trucker talking about that quite a bit? Okay, in those segments that I showed, but that's to pass them off as though he don't know exactly what's going on. If he was able, first of all, he got taught. I'm sure that they have that clip from GMS. I'm sure that the federal government has all of that. Okay? I'm sure when they instructed him on what his next mission was going to be, he knows all of that. In the last video with that weirdo dude, he was talking about Trucker-Car-Elson's team. His team, of course his team knows everything. They do the research. They don't do journalism without doing extensive research before they move forward on what it is that they're trying to put out to the masses. Okay? So all of this, including what this guy is saying right here, he could be in on it. What is he saying and what is he not saying? He's trying to nullify us by saying, oh, well, they're just crazy. They're just crazy. Okay, why? Is that what you were instructed to say when they grabbed you up over there in the Ukraine? All right? We know about you too, Gonzalo.
With good reason, because this is the epitome of freedom of speech. To say something stupid and outrageous that most everybody disagrees with, but okay, fine, you do you, kind of thing, right? On the flip side, Facebook is now censoring the Seymour Hersh story. The Seymour Hersh story about the Nord Stream bombing. Seymour Hersh, in his article, he said that the Americans did it in conjunction with the Norwegians, and there was this peripheral assistance provided by the Poles, apparently, and perhaps the Brits as well. I forgot, to tell the truth. It's not important. The point is that, see, Facebook is saying that the story was fact-checked by independent fact-checkers who said that it's not true, and therefore they're censoring this vital piece of information from their platform. You can't share the link to the article or anything. It gets blocked.
Now, what he's going into is a whole convoluted scenario that explains how they're going to bring the famine of the word by, see, he's saying the real target is these African Hebrew Israelites, right? He said, why are they going after them? And they got Trucker is involved in this whole scenario. He knows that they're unjustly coming after you. He did say that. Why are they going after you? They ain't done nothing. They're just crazy, right? So in a way, he's on our side. But he's saying, watch as they demonize everything else while keeping it a big secret that the real target, for some reason, is the men of the Lord.
Now, in my own case, like on Google the other day, I started noticing some, just weird stuff that was popping up, referencing me. And I was like, what's going on?
That's us. You know it's us. He's being very candid. Not candid, but he's being very slick. Okay? Very measured is the word I'm looking. He's being very measured on what he's saying. And I understand it. I watch this guy. The Elder Apostle watches this guy. A lot of GMS watch this guy. Why is he talking about us right now? He knows that we use him to bring this out, okay, to filter it through the scriptures.
So I Googled myself. I don't do this regularly, okay? I don't need Google to give me an inflated sense of self-value. So I Googled myself, and it was really weird because it was just a mishmash of stuff that just sort of like downplayed me completely. There's no mention of my YouTube channels. There's no mention of the things I've done. Nothing. Except the one thing that did pop up was my Wikipedia entry in Russian. Oh, that's a bad sign, right? But it was not, it was completely imbalanced. And in fact, like the second thing that popped up was this Mexican movie critic called Gonzalo Lira Galvan. And I've never met the man, but, because we have the same name, I've come across him a time or two on social media and what have you. But I don't mean any disrespect to my the guy who shares the same name as me, but he's not that noteworthy, certainly not in the English language. He writes exclusively in Spanish, of course. But he came up more than a lot of the other shit that I've done in my time. I mean, like books, like, social media, all that bullshit, right? And then I checked on, I tried to check Yandex, but I can't reach Yandex here in Ukraine. But I checked Bing and I checked Yahoo, the search engines, and they were a lot more balanced, and they had a lot more stuff about me. And what am I trying to say this? What I'm saying is that information repression is very much active right now in the United States. It's increasingly the case in Europe. In Germany, they have no idea about the Seymour Hersh article. The repression against information is accelerating. It's becoming a lot worse. And now it's not just the corporations who are repressing information. It's the American federal government that is repressing information, insofar as these, Black Israelite people.
Black Israelite people. Huh. Did you hear that? Okay, so I'm connecting the dots, all right? I pray that somebody with some editing skills would put all of this information together, edit it together correctly. Salakia for my rawness. But, I mean, all of these things, they fit together seamlessly. So, and then this guy, what is he doing? He's announcing basically the famine of the word. He can see they're coming at. Why are they going after these guys? Not only are they repressing who blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, which they have the ability to do. Why are they going after these no accounts that don't even mean anything? Well, guess what, Gonzalo? Guess what the most important thing in the world is? Right? You guessed it. It's what we're saying.
Right now, in the United States, it's increasingly the case in Europe. In Germany, they have no idea about the Seymour Hersh article. The repression against information is accelerating. It's becoming a lot worse. And now it's not just the corporations who are repressing information. It's the American federal government that is repressing information, insofar as these, Black Israelite people.
All right, we'll stop it right there. Go back and watch this. Gonzalo Lira again. It's 2 days ago, right? American censorship increasing. Oh, is that it? I'm gonna get Amos. What is it? Amos 8 and 11. I think that's about it. We'll end it. We're gonna go ahead and close up right here. Let me get a couple of precepts. Let's go back here first. All right. NLT again. Isaiah 29 and 15. Woe, Salakio, what sorrow awaits those who try to hide their plans from the Lord, who do their evil deeds in the dark. The Lord can't see us, they say. He doesn't know what's going on. The Most High, right, he lets us know. Okay, he gives us the ability to put these things together, right? All right, this is, how are they orchestrating the famine of the word? Let me go back here real quick. Let's type this in. Let's just put Trucker-Car-Elson, right? And see what comes up. Soon as as early as yesterday, 3 hours, 1 day, what does it say? Suddenly this guy's gone. They took him off the case. They took him off. Look at this. This is all yesterday. 8 hours, 16 hours, 1 hour, right? 7 hours. What's going on? All right. Is the Psy-Op, is his mission complete at this point? What is he going to do next? His next move. Ex-Fox employee predicts truckers' next move. What is his next move? Okay. They're clearly trying to divert people's attention and to characterize, what do they call it? Characterize, we'll use that. Let's see what this guy says.
Europe.
Salakia. And I'll get a precept and we'll go ahead and close it. Salakia.
Text also showing him making disparaging comments about Fox executives. Tucker-Carlson is out at Fox News. The network saying in a statement, quote, "We thank him for his service to the network as a host and prior to that as a contributor." That was it. The surprise announcement coming just a week after Fox News settled a defamation lawsuit with Dominion Voting Systems for more than $750 million. That lawsuit revealed texts between Carlson and staffers where he said that he hated former President Trump despite saying other things on air. Text also showing him making disparaging comments about Fox executives. Joining us now on this is CNN senior media reporter Oliver Darcy.
Maybe he got the truth and was trying to work on behalf of Yahweh Shem Yahushai in his own way. All right, Carlson. That sounds like Swedish, maybe Norwegian. Right? We don't know. All right.
And CNN political commentator Jonah Goldberg, who we should note left Fox News after being there for 12 years when Carlson said that January 6th was a false flag operation. Thank you both for being here. And Oliver, I think the question this morning that even Tucker may be asking himself is, why? Why now?
Yeah, why is the big question? And that's just unclear, to be honest, at this point in time. I think it's impossible to disconnect the decision for Fox News from the big Dominion settlement last week. I mean, that was a massive settlement, $787.5 million they had to pay out to Dominion. It's unclear exactly what part of that lawsuit, I think, factored into Carlson's ultimate firing at Fox News. There are a number of factors that could have factored in, but it's unclear exactly what was his undoing as related to that lawsuit. But we should keep in mind that the Murdochs had stood by Carlson through everything. I mean, he made white nationalist remarks on Fox News, they stood by him. He made anti-immigrant remarks, they stood by him. He promoted conspiracy theories about the COVID vaccines, they stood by him. He promoted conspiracy theories and trutherism about the January 6th attack, they stood by him. He sowed doubt about the 2020 election, and they stood by him. So something changed in their calculus, and perhaps it was just that the risk versus the reward calculation had altered, and he was just costing them too much problems and not offering enough reward, and they just decided maybe to just wipe their hands clean.
Yeah. Jonah, I mean, as someone who didn't stand by him, right? You've known him for 12 years. You were a contributor there to Fox News. I wonder what you think the final straw could have been.
Yeah, just to be clear, I knew Tucker. I've known Tucker for 25 years. I mean, I knew him long before he went to Fox News. Yeah, and but regardless, look, I think Oliver's right. I think that it's still kind of opaque and murky.
See his name there? JJ
there. There's a reason why we call the last straw, because normally straws don't break camels' backs, right? But it's all the stuff prior to the straw that makes it the decisive factor. I do think that there's, the LA Times, where I write a column, apparently it's the Abby Grossberg tapes or the Abby Grossberg lawsuit. Something about that is a big part of the decision. And also something about the Ray Epps episode on 60 Minutes, which sort of debunked Tucker's false flag operation stuff. And I think that one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is that Tucker's shtick, where he called January 6th this false flag thing, where he leans into all these conspiracy theories, that's actually related to the Dominion suit in a sort of weird way. Insofar as that whole idea of respecting the audience, if you follow that logic, where you say, well, we should tell the audience what it wants to hear, well, why go half-assed with that? Go all in, right? And that's what Tucker did, is rather than just say, oh, maybe there's something to this Dominion thing, he said, no. These deplorable people who stormed the Capitol, they're actually heroes and victims and martyrs. And he really force-fed and pandered to the audience what he thought it wanted to hear, not just this sort of half-measure, let's say Trump is got something going, maybe onto something with the Dominion stuff. He said, no. Let's take the worst things about Trump and January 6th and turn them into positives for us, because that's what the audience really wants to hear.
And the thing about that is it's a really big audience, Oliver. I mean, he was one of the highest rated anchors that they had. And I think that's why, it's the front page of the New York Times and the Washington Post. It was your A1 in your newsletter. And so the question is, what does that look like going forward? Because obviously, I've heard from people in Trump world, they're stunned by this. He was a big, any conservative, if you wanted to be a successful Republican, you had to go on his show, essentially, people felt.
I think there are two questions about what's next. What's next for Fox News and what's next for the Republican Party moving forward. For Fox News...
What does it mean for the Republican Party, I think?
Well, I think for the Republican Party, you had Tucker Carlson, who really shaped the modern-day GOP, and he pushed it to the extremes. I mean, Tucker Carlson was not your average conservative. He made Sean Hannity look fairly moderate on a lot of positions. He was an extremist, and he whipped the Republican Party in that direction. And so without him doing that, without GOP lawmakers fearing that if they didn't say the right thing, that Tucker Carlson would go on his 8 p.m. primetime perch and lash out at them, I think that, really it doesn't, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I think this is going to change the GOP in some way. And I think for Fox News, they have some problems as well, potentially, if Tucker Carlson decides to go somewhere else. They were really worried after the 2020 election about losing an audience to the smaller competitors like Newsmax. If Tucker Carlson somehow turns up on one of those channels or does his own thing, it's not, I mean, it would not be, unheard of that a significant chunk of his audience could follow him. So I think those are the two things I'm watching right now.
Jonah, as someone who's known Tucker for 25 years and worked at Fox for 12.
What do you think he's going to do next?
No world in which this is the end of Tucker Carlson in the, in the public eye on some media platform, maybe his own.
Yeah, I think it's a very real possibility he goes full Joe Rogan, creates his own thing. Then he gets to do things on his terms. He will definitely want to get the last word, or at least get his version of events. He may be in need of lawyering up right now because of the Grossberg stuff. Who knows? But I think it's absolutely true. We haven't seen the last of Tucker Carlson. I do think it's important, on this Republican Party question, recall that Ron DeSantis, one of the first missteps he had was he felt compelled to fill out Tucker Carlson's campaign questionnaire, and that's where he called, the Ukraine stuff a border dispute. None of these candidates, no GOP people are going to feel compelled to fill out whoever replaces Tucker, his questionnaire.
Yeah, that's such a good point, Jonah, because it does show just the impact that he had. That what they did was they just reached out to all these candidates to ask for their position on Ukraine and then read them live on air, basically.
A lot of them didn't do it.
A major, and then they later retroactively did. A major moment for DeSantis there. We'll see what the impact of this looks like going forward. Jonah Goldberg, Oliver.
We will see, okay? We're going to keep our eye on this guy because he's clearly part of this whole psyop. This is a psyop. What are they going to have him do now? Because we've seen this before. Let me quickly, let's see. Tucker Carlson Slock here. I keep saying his name. In, what was it? Let's say 13. Let's see. 23. We're not going to get anything old, are we? Let's go to Wikipedia. Right here. Oh, wow. See, they're covering it up too. Okay, let's see. '69, writer who hosted the nightly political from, okay, this is when he was rehired at Fox. Okay, now let's see. It says he was, okay, CNN, he was on the other side. Look at that. Okay, and from in '09, he became a political analyst for Fox. Look at this guy. Co-founded and served. Editor-in-chief. Salaki, bear with me, I'm looking for him. He's written 3 books. So when did he go down? It says, including slurs he said on air in '06 and 2011, which resurfaced in 2019. This is probably why he went down right here. He was saying, see, because that bow tie, back to the bow tie, right? The bow tie tells you who he actually is, right? Like this guy, what was his name? Used to wear the bow tie all the time. When was he dismissed? It had to be could have been as early as this. This is the closest time to the elders encounter slurs. Let's see. Okay. What is it? Is it racial, including slurs? Let's see. Race and his remarks on race and immigration. Okay, so Tucker. Let's see. Let's see if I can find something real quick. Bear with me. Tucker. Created the most racist show. That's 2022. He was fired from, I'm not sure what it was. Racist. See, they're not going to show it. And what they're doing is they're expunging anything that I'm bringing up right now. They probably got it out of here. That's 2019. Slovakia. I'm going to go ahead and close. I'm just doing a little, let's see. Okay, 09, we gave him a political analyst. Daily Caller. Political. Yeah, they don't say much about it because he was let go. The time that we saw him with the elder apostles, he was let go. So anyway, let's get a couple on the way out. Let's get the famine, because really all of this is about the famine. They gotta shut down. They want to be able to control the First Amendment. Let's say that because they can't. 8. Let's see if I'm correct on this. Let me see. I might be wrong. This is Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. Going back to what Gonzalo Lira said, he said, why are they after them? This is all about, he said, the whole Tucker-Carlson, and this was before he got fired. Okay? He said, why are they going after the men of the Lord? They ain't done nothing. They got freedom of speech. Lira said that a day before they fired Carlson. Okay? So this is what everything has to do with, all right? Now, all right, men of the Lord, we know, okay? We know what this devil is up to, 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of us. This is a device of Satan. Because your boy Trucker knows exactly who we are, what we're doing. He's playing stupid like he don't know, right? He's playing dumb in LT so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. For we are not unaware of his schemes, his plans. Where's his plans at? Okay? What goes on in his mind, we know what you're up to. Where's this fool's plans his designs, his devices, schemes, right here. For we know what his plans are. What is the whole psyop about? It's about not letting that first video come out. Okay? They don't want that. They don't want you to know that this guy knows exactly who we are, because now how did that just pop up? How did this video just pop up? Okay? Because I looked for it, and then it, I mean, like the brother Asimawat said, hey, man's goings are of the Lord. I ran straight into that thing to put this together. And I know I'm rambling. I know it's going on for too long. But look into this, all right? Because we see what this is. It all amounts to the famine of the word. Now, what is the Most High doing through the Spirit? Right? He's showing us what this devil is up to. All right? And it all means this too. If the famine of the word, this guy gets fired, here comes the famine. What does it mean? That means that they're about to move to their next step. What should we be doing? Measuring now the time diligently in itself. All right, so I'm going to end it right there. Do what you will with this information. And Lord willing, I don't get a strike and they take it down and you won't see me in a week. If you don't see me in a week, you know what it is. All right, so with that, we hope that the elect are edified. Shalom.